What's up, brother?
What's up with it, man?
How you doing, man?
Nervous.
You nervous? Why you nervous?
I don't know, bro. Anxiety's kicking in right now. I'm about to run on you. I thought we were about to take off right now.
Nah, we good, man. We
It's
chilling.
fucking,
We in the cut right now. We good.
bruh. This shit is nerve-wracking.
Does this give you like a full experience? Like, damn, it's real.
This is real. This is live. This is. I can't even explain it, bro. This is amazing.
Could you tell the people who you are, what nationality, and like what city you grew up or came from?
Well, I'm from San Diego. I'm Cambodian. My name is Sokorn, but they call me Big Trip. Born and raised right here in the hood, City Heights. You know what I mean? Hanged around with the hood, kicked it with the hood. Raised in a rough neighborhood, you know what I mean? Fucking, we had nothing. Did what we could to survive, bare minimum.
You said you came from East Daygo, right? Grew
East
up in East
Daygo
Daygo.
all day.
How was it like growing up in East Daygo, being Cambodian or Asian?
It was a little hard. I mean, we went through a lot of racial conflicts. You know what I mean? Cambodia, we had a lot of funk. We had a lot of, like war amongst each other, amongst other neighborhoods, amongst other race. It was a lot of conflict growing up. You know, a lot of shootings, a lot of killings. Just surviving, living in the hood, grinding, getting money. You know what I mean? Doing what we got to do on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
You said you went to middle school and
Yeah.
you didn't go to high school, right?
No. So I made it to Horseman Middle School. I think it was sixth grade was the last. I think I lasted about a month in sixth grade before I got expelled. That was my last actual full going to school education. You know, until I got to prison. You know what I mean?
So sixth grade was your last grade in school.
Yeah, sixth grade.
Why did you get expelled? Could you talk about that?
So during my time there at Horseman, I had got a message from one of the homies that who had just got jumped by another race. So one of the dudes that had jumped him was in our PE class. You know, so being me and who I am, I'm like, well, shit, let me get your run back. You know. So you know, trying to, I don't know if it was peer pressure or whatever. I thought I was the cool guy. You know, I ran a lap and I kind of like invited some females, like, hey, y'all want to see me knock this dude out? You know, I had a brick in my hand and ran up behind this guy and I smacked him in the back of the head. You know, laid him out right in the PE field. You know, and then so the teacher came and they had ran and kind of like hemmed up the homie to kind of grab the homie up. And I'm like, I wasn't feeling it. So, you know, I ran up to the teacher and just started knocking the teacher, and then that was it. That was the end of my school.
Oh,
You know,
so that was the end of your school days right there.
that was it. That was the end of it. You know, and so from there on, my mom was like, you know, well, since you're gonna be out there fucking up, might as well just, you know what I mean? She was trying to support me, but like, stay home. Don't be out there in the street doing what you do. If you're not gonna go to school, if you're gonna be fucking up at school, do it. You know what I mean? Stay at home. Tell your friends to come kick at the house. But growing up, you know, now that I'm older, I think about it like that was like the biggest mistake, because now the hood is in the house. You know, and the hood, everybody's in the house, everybody's there chilling, all the homies. You know, so now for me having to go out to the street and doing what I do, now my house became the hood. You know what I mean? So everybody started coming over there,
Yeah, just,
chilling.
like chilling over
Yeah,
there.
we drinking, partying. This was like an everyday, daily thing, you know. So it became more than just. I think that was like the turning point for me, you know, from continuing education to, fuck it, I'm full blown hood now. You know what I mean? And like I wasn't even from the hood during that time. It was just everybody came chill, and the homie was like, look, you do everything with us. You're hanging out with us. You banging. You know what I mean? You represent Khmer. You might as well fucking run it. Be from OBS and do what you do. You know? So I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? I got tired of it, you know? They kept asking. I'm like, well, fuck it. Might as well be from the hood, you know? So that was like the beginning of my career of being on the street, hanging and kicking with the gang members and like motherfuckers running shit, you know? But I mean, it was fucked up in a sense, but in a sense, like it kind of saved me from being on the street. But that was like my breathing ground from becoming a worser fucking criminal, you know?
Yeah. And then what were you doing after that? You was what, hitting licks or you was gang
Bro, I mean,
banging?
it started out. So before I used to just drink, smoke a little, cigarette or weed here and there, but then it went from me doing what I do to first it was just GTAs, you know what I mean? Just robbing, stealing cars, you know what I mean? Driving G rides and shit in the hood. Then it slowly progressed to where I was doing robberies, strong arm robberies. Then from strong arm robberies, I was doing home invasions. You know what I mean? It got worse and worse. Assault with deadly weapon. I mean, my criminal history it's deep, you know. And from juvenile to my adult year, it just got worse and worse. The crime and the shit I did, it just progressed it. You know what I mean? It went from just shooting people to beating people up, and it just got worse, you know? Just as I got older, well, not even older, because I think I was like 21 years before I caught my last case, you know? It was the worst thing that I could have did, you know what I mean? I mean, by the time I justified it as, okay, I need it, I'm stealing from the rich, looking out for the poor type shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing what I gotta do, take care of myself and take care of the hood, you know what I mean? Versus it's wrong at all point what I was doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in a sense, at the time, being that I was so high and so under influence, that I thought, hey, who gives a fuck? They insured, they got money, they ain't losing shit, you know what I mean? So it was kind of fucked up at the time, but now that I'm older, I'm like, fuck, you know, it's wrong in the sense like they work hard for their shit, you know what I mean? They did what they do. It's like something like we're doing now. We working hard for our shit. We trying to grind, get money or whatever, but they did their was, you know what I mean, the same way, you know?
Could you talk about the licks you did before leading to you doing your 20 plus year bid? Where you
Was
started hitting licks in, you said La Jolla or something?
Yeah, so I mean, way before La Jolla, I was just doing like regular like carjackings, stealing cars. My main thing was my little MO was stealing car stereos, systems and shit. You know what I mean? But at the time, it was more like supporting a habit. You know what I mean? Supporting my drug habit. But then eventually, it came to a point where, damn, the money's good, fast. You know, I hooked up with a connect where like whatever I get, they buy right there and then. So I didn't have to worry about looking for a buyer. I didn't have to worry about slanging it or nothing. So I just get the shit, drop it off, and I get paid. Go buy my little hit, get a little hit, and you know whatever I have left, slide to the homie. Like,
A
hey, y'all
hit or
need
what?
this,
A hit or what?
huh?
Hit or what?
It hit up crystal. You know,
Crystal.
I was hooked on that meth. You know what I mean? I
How
was hooked
long
on that
did you
meth.
do crystal for?
I started about when I was like about 11 years old, 12 years old, something like that.
11 or 12?
Yeah, 11, 12 years old.
How did you get your hands on that at 11 or 12?
Well, one of the homie had introduced me when, so at the time I was kind of like somewhat homeless. So my mom had kicked me out of the house. And then, so I was running around the hood, sleeping in a clean park. And so I ended up staying with one of the homies from V-Boys, you know what I mean? The homie Fireball. And then next you know, the homie came through. We had like a little get together and the homie came through. It's like, hey man, I got some crystal. I'm like, what the fuck is crystal? You know, so I did the little line of the powder and that was it. It was over. It was done deal. I was hooked. I used drugged ever since. You know, and I've been high, and every time I got high, it went to supporting my habits. So my habits went to like busting licks and doing robberies, and you know what I mean. It just progressed as time went by. You know what I mean?
How long has it been since you hit crystal?
It's been about a couple years. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. You know, but now that my mind is like sober and I'm thinking well, it's like my whole thing is giving back and doing right. Breaking the cycle and changing, making a change, you know what I mean? Changing the way how people think or how people feel like they have to do this because they're around the homies or it's not even about that no more. You know, it's like you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to do nothing the homie tells you. You know, but since I want to be the one to tell the homies like, hey, there's other ways besides what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? Just promoting a big change. You know, promoting, giving back to the hood. You know, like the event we had last week, it was one of the best feelings I ever had. It just being a part of something voluntarily, giving back to the community. Is something that's just amazing. You know, it's an amazing feeling being able to do something that we didn't have growing up. You know, it's just one of those feelings like, damn, man, I wish I had this when I was growing up, or I didn't have to go take from another person just so I had a backpack to go to school. You know, it was an amazing feeling. You know.
Let's talk about right before you did a 20-year bid. Uh, you said, okay, so you was hitting licks from the rich people, and you just kept coming back over there,
Yeah.
right? Let's talk about that.
So I mean, pretty much, I ended up finding a spot back in La Jolla, and after the first lick, I'm like, oh, it's clean, cause the first lick I did, I robbed a dude and I got 3,000 off of him.
And what, inside his house or a
No,
parking
it's
lot?
off his pocket.
Where was he at though?
It's just in the parking lot.
Okay.
You know, I pulled up and the dude hopped out of his car and I put out the gun. I'm like, bang, you know, it's a stick up. Give me everything you got.
That
You
was a
know,
lot of
and-
money back then, huh?
Yeah, and he put out the cash. I'm like, ooh, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked. I'm like, damn, 3,000 like that, bro, that easy. It took us like 30 seconds damn near, bro, we came up.
Yeah.
So, and I kept going back, and every time I went back, I was getting fat wads of cash. I'm like,
The
ooh,
same
this-
spot.
The same spot, bro. I'm like, ooh, this shit is the shit, bro. We come here every time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would space it every other day, and then I went to like every other week, and you know, once a week or whatever. But I was licking this spot for 3 months straight, bro. You know, just sticking them up. And I didn't have to do nothing. All I did, I pulled a gun out. I'm like, hey, man, give me your shit. I didn't have to cock the gun or nothing. Just give me your shit. And I'm walking away with bands. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, this shit is cool, bro. Like, this shit's too easy, too fast. I was hooked. You know, that was like the beginning of my career. I was like, I'm going to stay a stick-up boy. You know what I mean? Like, fuck this. I'm going to stick everybody up every time I see them. They got jewelry on. They got some shiny, look nice, fat. Okay, I'm finna take that. You know, give me that shit. Run that. You know, and I put out the 45, you know.
And how did it come to an end
Well, pretty much like
on the last lick you did over there?
the last lick I did over there, it was kind of rough. You know what I mean? Like, I went there, somebody had ordered a Hummer. I went there intentionally just to steal a Hummer.
So someone put an order in for a Hummer, like, hey, can you
Right.
find me a Hummer?
Can you find me a Hummer? I need a whole Hummer. I need parts. I need
What do you
this.
do? You look for a Hummer and you steal it and give it to him?
Yeah, that's all I did was just whatever he ordered, I go get it, whatever year, whatever brand he want. Okay, I go get it, drop it off, and he cashed me out. That was it.
Okay.
I didn't have to do no middleman, no nothing, and every time I dropped it off, money was there. I didn't have to wait for the money. I had to he cashed me out. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's cool.
So what
straight.
happened when you went to go get that Hummer?
So when I went to go get the Hummer, it was kind of one of those things. We were already in the car. We was about to start the ignition and all that shit. Me and my co-D
In the Hummer.
inside the Hummer, you know. And some dude had walked up, but I was high as a kite. So when the dude walked up, I'm like, oh man, this is a witness, you know. He sees us in the car, so I just like, hey man, you know a guy named John Whoop? Yeah, what you mean? Like, yeah, John had called us to come fix his car for him, Whoop, and ran out the car, we put out the 45, like, oh man, it's a witness. We gotta take this motherfucker down because he's a witness. So I put out the 45, laid him down, and stripped and took everything he had. You know, I'm like, look, man, I'm hungry right now. I apologize, but I gotta eat. You know, stripped him, took all his shit, and we take off. You know, but when we take off, be mindful, we're in like probably like third, fourth story down. So you have to take an elevator to go back out, you know? So we hop in the elevator, but as soon as the elevator door opened, there was a female right there, and we got all these property on us, and I got my 4.5 still in my hand, you know? I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, well, here goes another witness. So I'm like, she sees the gun, and she's like, ah. I'm like, well, bitch, turn around. Give me your shit, you know? So I turn her around, strip her Rolex watch off her, and fucking take her wallet. So I tell her, look, I got your ID card right here. I know where you live. You say anything, you call the police, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'll be back. You know? And so we're like, all right. So I left the lady there. I hop in the car. I mean, we hop out the elevator, and my driver, the homegirl, she's right there in the car. I'm like, man, this ain't this dude right there just talking to her. So I'm like, oh,
Someone you didn't know?
someone I didn't know, and he was like, it looked like he was a security guard, or you know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, there's another witness. So I tell my Cody, like, hey, post up. I got this. So my Cody's post up, sitting there, and I just creep up behind the dude and like, lay down, you know. Boom, I strip him for his shit. So we hop in the car, we take off, and it was like, we knew that somebody was following us. We knew something wasn't right, but at the same time, we was high as a kite. We're like, fuck it, let's go. So we throwing shit out the car, throw the phone out, you know, they could trace us, they could find us, and, you know, paranoid tripping. So we just throwing shit out the car window. But we make it home, so we're like, it's good, we legit, you know
What
what I
year
mean?
was this?
Fuck, it's back in like 2005, 2006, somewhere around there, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you guys made it home. You thought you got away.
Yeah, we got away. We got away. We was out there for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months down there. You know what I mean? We chilling. We out there chilling. We just normal day chilling. But I'm not knowing that the whole time I'm under investigation. You know, they came hit my house, made videos, take pictures and everything. I'm like, nah, we good. Me and my Cody right there at the house. Some of the homies over there, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's good. They ain't doing anything. They ain't taking me to jail or nothing. But I'm not knowing that the whole time I was under investigation.
So how did you find out you was under investigation?
I didn't find out till I went to jail when I got my transcript.
When you got your discovery?
When I got my discoveries. You know, when I got my discoveries, it actually said like, oh, we went and and all this time they were taking pictures. Like taking pictures of me, taking pictures of the car, taking pictures of my Cody.
So they knew everything.
They knew everything, but they were doing all that was just for the witness, like to identify us, like,
and
hey,
the
here,
evidence to
was
stack
this,
it up.
yeah, was this the car? Was this the gun? Was this the guys? But I'm not knowing though. I'm thinking it's a regular, you know, okay, police raid, they checking up and they just investigating us, whatever. I'm not investigating it, but just doing a regular routine checkup in the hood. You know, it's a normal thing in the hood when the police come kick your door, take your picture, like, oh, we checking for gang members and da da da. You know what I mean? That was a regular thing for me out there. But I'm not knowing that the whole time was an investigation, you know?
And then what happened? How
So
did they get you?
after that,
You was laying low or you was just out chilling?
no, I didn't even know I was wanted.
Mm.
I'm just chilling, regular life, running my little trap shop, playing cards with the old folks. You know, we had a little Chinese, it's called biatong in our language, but we, you know, my little trap, playing cards with the old folks, making money, you know what I mean, getting money. And then they came and it was good. They walked away, but they let us go. So I'm thinking, okay, we're good. We're not on the run or nothing. But it was, all the whole time, it was just they were investigating. But then after months later, I'm chilling at one of the homies' house. I get a call from one of the homies. I'm like, hey, big homie, bro, I see you on TV. FBI wanted, bro. You wanted right now. Armed and dangerous. So I tell my little homie, hey, bro, don't play with me like that, bro. I'll fuck you up. Don't play with me like that, bro. You know, and he's like, nah, bro, I'm serious, bro. I seen you. Look at Channel 8, CBS. And sure enough, so I asked one of the other homie, hey, bro, how you look this shit up? CBS Channel 8. The little homie said he saw me on TV. Sure enough, the homie went online and looked it up and like, boom. Wanted, armed and dangerous, strong arm robbery, da da da, whoop. The homie looked at me and smiled and he's like, look, bro, that's your 15 second of fame, bro, right there. You know, so from that day on, I had made my mind up. I'm like, look, I'm not going to jail. I'm cool. I'm not going back to jail.
Have you been to prison before that?
Before that, yes, I just got out. You know, I had caught a case for a homie, possession of a loaded firearm. And it was like one of those things like, man, so I kind of already had experienced it, you know,
How
so I
long
didn't
did you
want to go
do
back.
for that bid?
Just about a year and a half or so or something like that, you know, about a year and a half.
And then
But
how long were you out?
11 months at the most, I think. 11 months.
Okay, so let's talk about the day that they finally got you. How did they find you?
Well, so the day when they finally found me, I came back to the hood after being on the run for about 4 months or so, like
So
something
you
like that.
found out you was on TV and now you laid low.
Yeah, now I'm on the run, you know?
Uh-huh.
But I already had told myself I'm not going back to jail. So either I'm gonna kill a cop or they gonna have to kill me, whatever it is. I'm not going to jail. You know, I'm not going back to prison. I'm not doing that. But so I come back to the hood, to East Daygo, and I'm chilling right there. My sister just had moved back from Texas, so I'm thinking, okay, they don't know my sister's here in Dago. I go to stay with her, and it's good. It's A1, you know what I mean? But then one of the little homies had called me like, "Hey, fool, come chill, you know, whatever, come kick it." And I had pulled out of the driveway, but as soon as I pulled out the driveway, there was a cop already there, you know, and I'm like, ah. But being me, I'm like, fuck it, I might as well play the role, act like I'm legit. It's good. They don't know nothing. It's cool, you know? But as soon as I made that turn, I seen the police bust a U-turn. I'm like, I told my girl at the car, in the car with me, I'm like, look, check it out. We got to bounce.
It was just you and your girl in the
Just
car?
me and my girl. I'm like, look, we got to go. We got to pump the gas. We got to go, you know? And so I hit the gas, and the police, we go on that quick high-speed chase. And I tell my girl, look, as soon as I slam this fucking brake, you're gonna hop in the driver's seat, I'm gonna fucking bail out on foot, and you're gonna take off with the car.
And this was in East Daygo.
This right here in East Daygo. You know what I mean? I went from Trojan down to Trojan. I tried to hit El Cajon Boulevard, but as soon as I slammed the brake, I didn't realize the fucking automatic seatbelt was gonna lock me in the fucking car, you know, so I couldn't pop the door open.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as that fucking shit locked me in, somehow this super cop, I don't know what happened or how it happened, he made it from the high-speed chase, and he was there, and he was just fucking hitting the shit out of me. He
Through
just
the window?
stalking me. Yeah, he didn't say get out the car, freeze, nothing. He just bam, 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 just socking me in the face. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. So all my first instinct was to hold my girl down, like make sure she sit down. You know what I mean? Sit down. I got you. Sit down. I hit the clutch. I'm going. So we step on the gas, and somehow this cop hand get tied up in his seatbelt. You know what I mean?
So he's
So-
hanging out the window.
Hanging out the window, bro. Like, it was crazy. Like, his hand got tied up in his seatbelt, hanging out the window. I hit the fucking gas. You know what I mean? High as a kite. I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get away. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. You know?
Was there cops behind you now?
Just that one cop behind me at the time, the one that was high speed chasing me. So, but as soon as I take off, you know, the next street was El Cajon Boulevard. I'm thinking, okay, I could turn left on El Cajon Boulevard, hit Euclid, hit the freeway, and make my way out. You know, but I'm going so fast, bro. As soon as I hit that left turn on El Cajon Boulevard, I didn't pay no attention, bro. It was like fucking 3 or 4 cars right there in front of me. I ran straight into the fucking car. My girl goes through the windshield. You know what I mean? It was bad, bro. It was bad.
Your girl flew out the windshield.
Yeah, she was boom. Her head was. I mean, after that, I didn't know that. All I knew that she was unconscious. You know, she was unconscious. When I finally got out the car and I took off on foot, the cop was still hanging there in the fucking window. You know what I mean? Tied up. You know what I mean? It was bad. It was all bad. By the time I hit El Cajon Boulevard, bro, we had helicopters. We had, I don't know how many police. It was news reporter, everything. It was all bad, bro. I'm going to jail, you know? But I finally get out the car and I take off about not even half a block, bro. I made it down to El Cajon Boulevard. Some dude out of the motorcycle shop, he hops out, tackle me. You know what I mean? Some civilian hop out, tackle me, and then all I remember was a gang of cops just literally right there around me, just surrounded. You know, I look up, helicopters, I look up. It was all bad, bro. I'm like, oh.
So what were you thinking at that moment, at that exact moment?
Well, so one of the cops, he had a gun to the back of my head. He was like, stop moving, stop resisting, I'm gonna fucking shoot you. And I was just telling the cop, motherfucker, shoot me. I don't give a fuck. You know, go ahead, kill me. Get it over with. Get it over with. You know, I was like, do what you do, you know? I didn't give a fuck. Like, kill me. Shoot the gun. Shoot the gun. Kill me, you know? And there was one cop, he had like a pen or something like that. He was stabbing me in the leg, like, put your leg together, like telling me, put your leg together, because they were trying to, like, cuff me and cuff my leg, because I was resisting like a motherfucker, you know? But eventually, when they put me in the back seat, you know, I'm thinking, okay, plan B. I had this profile, I had this dude name and all this, where he lived at, social security, and all the fake ID with my picture on it. I'm thinking, okay, well, plan B, let's just use his profile. Hopefully, I get away with that, you know? So I give the police this information, and they're like, it was A1, it was good. Everything was straight. I'm like, look, man, I'm from Arizona. I'm on the run. I'm kind of, you know what I mean? I got scared, I got paranoid, I just took off, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, it's cool, you know? So it would have been just like a high-speed chase, you know, dragging the cop, whatever, it would have been good. But as soon as I get to the emergency room, because, you know, I was kind of fucked up from the accident, my girl was fucked up. I get to the emergency room, and then one of the detectives comes in, and he's like, look, man, I know who you are, Big Trip. I know who you are. We've been looking for you for a while. You know? I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? But once he had mentioned my name, I'm like, oh, it's over. You know, it's done deal. Done deal. It's I'm washed. You know, so I'm like, so I tell the cop, I'm like, well, if you know who I am, there's nothing to talk about. Let's go on, get to this county jail, and let's get this process started. You know what I mean? Let's get this shit started.
So what were you facing with that charge?
So originally, when I first started, it was 45 to life. You know, 45 to life. Then I ended up walking with 25 to life.
When you got sentenced?
Yeah. So then after that,
How did it go from 45 to 25, you think?
so at first it was no deal from the jump. It was no deal. It was literally
No deal,
no
the
deal.
max. The max was-
Yeah, DA wanted to max me out. So we went all the way to pick a jury. You know, so we went to go pick a jury. The DA's like, today we're gonna pick a jury. That's it. 45 to life. Yada yada, whatever. But for some reason, God is good, bro. God, I mean, I tell
You
you
didn't
right now,
take it.
God is good. The judge has stepped in. The judge stepped in. He was like, look, man, I know you're young, you're still a kid, and I truly believe that you have a chance to change. I truly believe that you can do, you know, like make a difference.
You
And
was 21 at the time? 22?
I think about 21, 22, something like that. And so when the judge stepped in, he gave me that 25, you know what I mean? It still had the elbow and all that, but I'm like, man, it's cool, run it, you know what I mean? So all I could think at the time was like, I was tripping about my driver's license. I'm like, look, Your Honor, eventually one day I'm gonna get out. I need my driver's license. You can't just watch me like this, you know? I need my driver's license when I get out. I'm gonna have to work, I'm gonna have to this and that, you know? But the judge's like, well, it's gonna be a long time. You don't need it right now. So the only thing I thought about was like, hey, Your Honor, you know, give me a chance to stay right here in the neighborhood so that way I can get my visits with my family, you know, and all that before I hit reception yard, and you ain't gonna get none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the judge agreed. He's like, okay, I'm gonna postpone your sentence for at least 30 days so that we can get your visit, meet your family, and all this and that before you go to the yard. So I was good with that. I was happy with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a blessing. I was able to take a deal right there at pick a jury. The judge had looked out for me, so I'm like, even though I walked away with an elbow, I'm like, it's cool. You know, I could do that. You know, it's good. I already knew, I expected that's what's gonna happen anyways. You know what I mean?
So what was going through your mind once you got sentenced 25 with a L that
So
day?
the first month was rough because I already had it in my mind that I was either gonna die in prison or I'm gonna spend the rest of my life in prison. So I went through this phase of suicidal, you know. So I think after sentencing, I had called my family, I called my girl, or my wife at the time. We had just got married. And I called her, told her, I said, you know, I love you guys, but I'm gonna have to apologize, you know, but you guys ain't gonna see me no more. It's over. It's done deal. This is over. You're not gonna see me no more. So I had made an attempt to kill myself. So I had collected medication and pills and drugs, whatever I could put my hands or get my hands on. I saved it for like about a month, 2 months, you know?
In prison?
In jail, county jail.
Oh, okay.
This is before I even hit the yard. I ended up taking it, you know, like I took it, you know, trying to OD, but for some reason God was there on my side, and my cellie had called man down for me, you know. So when he called man down, it kind of saved me, you know, like they took me to the hospital. I was unconscious. They had like put me on a machine and all that, and kind of brought me back to life, you know. But after that, that was the end of it. You know, I went.
So
I
you
was,
OD'd though.
yeah, I OD'd. I OD'd. I was out. I was gone. I was in life support for 6 days. You
Mm.
know. So after life support for 6 days, they brought me back. I was in suicide watch and the whole nine. You know what I mean? After that, I went to prison. You know, I hit reception yard. Back in the days, Donovan was reception yard. I knew it was over. This is it. This is gonna be my life.
How did you deal with it, knowing you had the elbow?
Well, I just pretty much told myself, you know what? This is it. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care about nothing. I was young. I was still gangbanging. I was still tripping. And I figured, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. This is what's gonna be. This is gonna be life. This is my life now. From now to the day I get out of here, or to the day I die, this is gonna be life. You know. So my first thing, I don't know if it's peer pressure or thought that, oh, you know, I want to be a G about this shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But as soon as I hit the yard, you know, like maybe a week, 2 weeks, and I was there with some of the homies. It was cool. Yeah, what's up, homie? Whoop, it's good. Kicked it off. You know, got into some funk. Some fools disrespecting some of the homies, and then after that, I'm like, well, as soon as the door cracked, make sure y'all do what you do. You know, and that was it. That was my career prison, or the beginning of it. You know, it was a start of gang banging and doing what I got to do inside the yard. You know.
And when did you decided to change?
Pretty much, I think it was like 2018. I just had got shoe term for assault with a battery. Assault. It was the SBI with a weapon. Um, so I was in this shoe, and the counselor came and saw me. He was like, "Look, you now have a shot at BPH to get out." I'm like, "Well, there's no possible way that I can have a shot at BPH." You know, I'm like,
What is PPH for the
so
people?
BPH is border parole hearing. You know, but at the time, I didn't have that. I was doing straight flat time, 25 years. You know, the laws had changed in my favor. You know, the fact that I came in as a juvenile, and they were like, "Look, because you came in as a juvenile, and they raised the juvenile age from 18 to 25 or 26 or something like that. So if you commit your crime, anything under that, you're considered as a juvenile." So the fact that they raised that age limit, it kind of qualified me for border parole hearing. But that border parole hearing, when I went in 2018, it was like a consultation. The consultation just tells me, like, look, in 5 years, you're gonna go to board. So in 5 years, if you do good, it's a possible chance you can get out. You know, so I'm like, oh, cool, you know? So after that, I'm like, knowing the fact that I now have a chance to get out, I'm like, well, might as well either try to manipulate the system and get out, or try to do what I gotta do to get out, you know? But in that process of going to group and going to NA and AA, trying to get sober, trying to hang up my coat and not really get involved with the bullshit and the politics in the yard, it kind of opened my eyes to a whole lot of shit, you know? Like, kind of opened my eyes to the difference of what we can do, or the way things can be done, you know? And then I started realizing, seeing, like, my homies wasn't really there, or the homies on the yard wasn't really there, you know? Like, everybody was just there for the wrong reason.
How did that make you feel when you was in there feeling lonely?
I mean, it was a tough time, bro. It was a tough time. I went through a lot of stress, a lot of depression, you know, anxieties. I lost a lot of hope. You know, the hope wasn't there no more. It was just one of those things, like, even if I got out today, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? You know, like, oh, where it's gonna be.
Did you already start college at this point, or
No,
no?
no.
When did
This
you
was
start
like
it?
so when I went to my conversation, it was like the beginning of my first group, my first NA, my first CGA program, Criminal Gang Anonymous.
So you had to get your GED first, right?
Yeah, so eventually I ended up getting my GED after this. You know, I eventually get my GED, and then after GED, I'm like, well, this is cool. I wish I knew education was this cool. I wish I knew that education was gonna better myself, or put me in a path where, like, with not just knowledge, but being able to speak, being able to read and write, you know? It kind of put me in a path, and it kind of steered me in a way where, okay, you know what, college is something good for me. You know, college is gonna be something that's gonna not only further my education, but it's gonna open doors and opportunities for me when I get out. These are things that I'm gonna need, you know? So eventually from the group and from the help I got from Narcotics Anonymous and CGA and Celebrating Recovery and stuff like that. You know, that the minimal things that they had offered when it was available at time, when it's available staff and this and that, you know.
Yeah.
Then when I got to New Folsom in 180 New Folsom, I learned about Coastline College.
What's that?
Coastline College, it was like one of those things that kind of opened my eyes to a whole lot of things because not only that it was offered, they paid for it. And all
What
you
is
had to do.
cosign? What is that?
Coastline, it was like a community college that was available in New Folsom.
Oh, that's what it's
Right.
called. Cosign.
Right.
Okay.
Coastline Community College.
Okay.
So when I learned about that, it kind of opened the doors for me to start in a path where I'm like, wow, you know. But I found a subject that I was very interested in, like psychology, sociology, learning about criminal behavior, learning about how people think or how culture involves or affect how people think or how they act or peer pressure. So it kind of put me in the path like, okay, this is something that I can use not only for myself, but to try to help change ways people think, you know? So I started thinking about myself and how I was raised and how the hood was, knowing that this could be something that we can do to break the cycle, you know?
So you
So-
actually graduated college?
Yeah, I actually graduated. I graduated with my university study in social science. I graduated with my general study in social science. And I also got my general ed and transfer degree in the university.
That's
you know,
good. That's
so
good.
it's been very beneficial, you know.
And then when that person or council told you you had a chance with BPH or whatever,
Yeah.
did he give you a time frame when or?
So when I had my first consultation, it was 5 years. But I already knew at the time when they told me in 5 years that it's gonna be a denial. Just due to the fact that of my history of being in prison, of the shit I've been doing, the fuck ups, coming in and out of the shoe, I already knew after 5 years, my first board, I'm gonna have to answer for the bullshit I was doing. You know, so I already accepted the fact that even in 5 years, I'm not gonna get out. You know? So after I went to my first board hearing, you know, like my attorney was like, look, check it out, either postpone it or take the denial. So like,
Take what now?
Take
what now? Take
so when you go to BPH, they give you an option whether you take the denial now or you postpone it. So if you postpone it, you can postpone it for if you postpone it, you have an option to whether, okay, I'm gonna wait 3 years before I go back. I could wait 5 years, 15 years, 10 years before I go back. If you take the denial, then you have no say whether it's gonna be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You know, you have no say in that. You know, so upon what my attorney advised me, I'm like, okay, let's roll with 3 years. You know, let me get 3 years, get clean, get right, and then go back. You know, but that's bullshit. Attorneys are full of shit. You know, always go and answer to your first board hearing, accept what you gotta do, accept accountability, answer to your wrongs, and then move forward. You know, but because I took my attorney's advice, by the time I went to my first board hearing, I still had to answer to what I did in prison. You know, I still got that denial. You know, I still got the denial, and it's fucked up. You know, it's like, well, it is what it is. I got to accept accountability. I got to accept accountability for the shit I did. Now I got to move forward, you know? So the fact that I already started and it kind of like my eyes was already open to what I had to do, this was the path I wanted to choose. You know, this is the path I wanted to do. So I continue to stay sober, I continue to do right. I relapsed here and there, got back on the horse and got right, you know, but I continued school, you know, I graduated, and then finally, by the time I was supposed to go back to BPH to my next hearing, I was offered an opportunity to go to fire camp. But I was begging for help at the time. I was begging for MCRP or some kind of sober living program, just knowing the fact that I'm gonna come home to nothing. You know, I had no clothes, I had no help, no real, I mean, I had support, but my family's on disability and all this. I'm like, the last thing I wanna do is come home and have to rely on my family, you know?
What is fire camp?
So fire camp is a program that they provide for nonviolent inmates, but then now because the laws have changed, even if you're a violent offender and you've been doing good for a certain amount of time where they can remove your P code, like your violent code, where it stipulates where you have to stay in a higher level. But if you do good a certain amount of years, they can remove that violent and allow you to go to a lower level. So when you get to these lower levels and you get to fire camp, there are big incentives where you could do good and either knock half of your time or majority of your time off, you know? In my case, the fact that I was a violent offender, they was only able to take 50%. But that 50% that they took off, it kind of like pretty much put me at the door to get out, you know? But even them putting me at the door where I can get out, it did not help the fact that I needed more resources and more help before I got out. You know, because the extra time they give me, yeah, it's a blessing, the extra time I can get out early, but getting out early does not help that after 20 years, what am I gonna do? You know, I had no identification, no social security, no birth certificate, no job, real job lined up. I mean, I had some job from some of the homies that was ready to plug me up, but it wasn't a guarantee that I can go in and get this and get that. You know, and then not even expecting to be on the ankle monitor. On top of that, it's like another barrier that I had to deal with when I was coming out of here, you know?
Let's talk about fire camp. Fire camp, basically, what the people that go there has to fight fires, or
Yeah, so pretty much fire camp, we're working with Cal Fire. So working with Cal Fire, they pretty much train us how to fight fires. They get us ready. Every time there's a fire like that has to do that get big, where like for instance, like here in San Diego County, the fires can get big. It can reach to where it reach federal land. It can reach where it's like lands that are marked specifically for like old things, you know what I mean? Like treasures, you know? So they would call us and to help. So if the city can't handle it, they call Cal Fire, we come back them up, you
and
know?
you actually went to real fires.
We went to real fire. So the last two fires I was at the Palisade Fire out here in LA. We was in Santa Monica, we was in the Palisade. We met a couple Hollywood actors, you know, and then from there, after like 2 or 3 weeks there, from there we went to the border fire right here in San Diego. I was able to stage at Snapdragon, you know, and chill right here in the neighborhood and go help over there in the border fire, you know. And we're right there in the mix. We're right there fighting fire, front line, doing everything what Cal Fire do. We as inmates doing our servitude is fighting fires, you know.
So that's what you have to do, and they offered giving time off.
Yeah, that's part. So part of our incentive was getting early kicks, you know, getting time off. The camp I was at, they did not offer no program or NAAA. So pretty much what you're doing 5 days a week is what they call, it's like we helping the community, right? Grade work, they call it grade work. So grade work is pretty much we're going in the community and we have sponsors that come and get us and like, hey, come clean up, come set up, or clean up poor shit, or put up stages, and we're there, we're doing what we do. But when they have a fire, and it's like a regular firefighter out here on the street, they'll call us, they'll go, we'll radio us in, and we jump in the thing, we get suited up, and we go straight to the fire. We're front line, you know?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and we're there. So we're there either putting out the fire, we're cutting lines. Sometimes we're right there on the fire, we put with the hose, we fight, you know what I mean? Everything, the whole nine. But the only thing different about us between the structure and Cal Fire, we're more out there in the mountains and the fields versus fighting structure fire, you know?
Okay, and then so after that, you got out here after fire camp.
Yeah, after fire camp. So from fire camp,
How long was you there?
I mean, I was nervous, I was scared. I literally was like doing whatever I can to actually get more time to stay. You know, after 20 years, I had a lot of fear of coming back out. I don't know if it's the fear of coming back to jail or the fear of like, you know what, I might as well just stay my ass in prison and have to go out there and worry about responsibility, paying the bills and this and that, and just go ahead. You know, I'm 20 years. What's another 30 or what's another 40 days? You know what I mean? That ain't shit.
Yeah.
But it was scary. It was scary for me. You know, I had a lot of nervous anxieties, breakdowns. You know, I would wake up in tears, go to sleep in tears, just thinking about what I'm gonna have to do when I get out there, how I'm gonna do it when I get out there. You know, I was clueless. Technology was beyond what I could have thought of. You know, because when I came in, it was just flip phones, Facebook, and none of that exists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but fortunately, doing what I did in camp, I was able to at least experience a fucking smartphone. You know, so it kind of helped me get a little boost.
You know how to use a smartphone right now?
Right now, I'm still having a hard time on answering the phone. Like I can't sync my phone to the car. I can't even figure out how to turn my fucking radio on right now in the car. You know, the screen don't want to fucking come on. I don't know. I
You
don't
know
know
how to
where.
use GPS?
Fuck no. GPS is retarded.
What you mean?
It's bro. You go one way, they talking about turn left, turn right, motherfucker. I turn right, and then the screen go blank. I'm like, what the fuck? So which way I go now?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I'm lost. I was going to the homie's job one day, and then they got lost, and I'm like, okay, I might as well just go back home. And it took me an hour and a half to find my way home. And
How did you find your way home then?
bro, an hour and a half of going 54 East, 54 West, 94. I don't know what the fuck Somehow I found 8 West, and I just like fuck. I exited in the hood, and drove my ass on the street on the city street just to make it back. You know, and eventually I made it back. You know.
How long you been out now?
So I got out on the 19th, so about 2 weeks or so, something like that, about 2 weeks.
After doing how long?
20 years. So I was 3 months shy from 21 years. So
Okay. Was out here what you imagined in your head in there?
nowhere close. Nowhere close. Like earlier today, we was driving around. I mean, I was seeing buildings that never existed. Places in my neighborhood, like we literally drove by my old house and the road don't even exist no more. I'm like, what the fuck happened to the road? Like, it used to be a street that you could just go all the way, you know, and like, it wasn't there. School was there or something, I don't know what the fuck it was, apartments or what it was, but it didn't exist no more.
What you think would have happened if you never went to that prison the last term?
To be honest with you, I mean, I was wilding out, you know, I was doing hella stupid shit. You know, it could have been me dead or somebody dead or, I don't know, but it was rough. It was rough. It was during a time where I was doing a whole lot of too much, you know, and too much for myself. But I'm pretty sure that at that time, if I didn't kill nobody then, you know, somebody was gonna kill me then, you know? So in a sense, like after doing this time, it was kind of like a blessing for me to be in prison. You know, it kind of saved me from the street, but I lost a whole lot of myself then and became a new me in a sense, you know?
Okay, so if you could tell your 18-year-old self one thing right now from everything you learned or seen and been through, what would you tell yourself?
Don't fucking do it, you know? But now my whole thing is just realize between a violent offender and a non-violent offender, you know? You go in for a violent case, they're watching you. You're getting football numbers, you're getting double, you know, double digits minimum, you know? Non-violent case, you might go in there months, a year, but you're getting 33% you're getting out, right? Not to say that I'm promoting criminal activity or doing anything like that, but just realizing that, I think it can at least lessen the impact on people doing violent shit, you know, or doing violent shit that's gonna cost them their life. You know, and a lot of us, bro, it's always too late for us to realize what we do. You know, when we get these football numbers, we don't know that we're expecting to get these foot numbers. We think it's gonna be a year, 2 years, but some of us don't even think about that at all. Some of us don't even give a fuck. But you know, as soon as we go in and you get broken off, it's too late now to think about it. It's too late. Now it's time to do your time, you know?
So you would have lived differently.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Right now I would promote education so much, you know, because education is that knowledge. That knowledge is just open your whole world to a whole different realm of things and open doors. You know, open doors to things that you would not expect, things that you would not know about these opportunities or these resources that can help you get where you need to get. You know, this fast money or getting money and this and that, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. But when you do it the right way and you go to school and you learn about these things, they can't take that away from you. You get money the right way, they cannot take that away from you. You cannot go to jail for that, you know? But us as kids, the peer pressure, the homies, the older homies telling us, hey, we need to go do this and do that, we out there getting it. You know, we getting it. You know, like, I got you, bro, don't trip, it's good, you know? But we're not realizing the path and the road that we're doing, you know? But now that I'm older, bro, it's just amazing, you know, how my mind is so much open to the world. So much humble I am now today, you know, just being able to hear and listen, or being able to apologize to people, or being able to accept my fault and my wrongdoings, you know, versus pointing fingers or voice, you know what I mean? Shit like that. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a good feeling, you know.
So what are some of your goals now that you're out here and you realize all this?
Well, today my whole goal is about reform, bro. Reform. It's offering help or getting help to the inmates and the convicted felons in there right now that are begging or asking for help, you know, but they're not getting that. You know, they're not getting that, you know, or breaking the cycle of violence, breaking gangs. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm always gonna be hood, you know what I mean? I'm always gonna be hood inside of me, but I'm just not living by that violence. I'm not living by the way people think I am or who I was, you know, because now I wanna just promote, instead of teaching little homies, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Nah, fuck that. You ain't gotta do shit. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta do none of that. But you can do it this way. Motherfuckers feel some type of way, come handle that, come get it. You know what I mean? But I'm not about that life no more, you know? I just want to change the way how people think. I want to promote education. I want to promote just giving back to the community. Shit like that we did last week, that was just one of the amazing feelings I ever had. It was just amazing. Just being able to give back to the hood that I grew up, to the people that, you know, at one point in time, I was like, hey, let's go to the hood, let's go bust his leg. But now being able to participate in something that you guys got going on, just giving back, it's just amazing. Especially with my boy Lon, it's just like, that's even amazinger, you know? Like, this is the nigga that I grew up with, and this is motherfucker. We've been hood together from the day one, you know what I mean? And now, how we are now today is just one of those amazing feelings, you know?
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. You realize everything now, man. But I think you're on a curfew still, right?
Yeah.
I think we might have to cut.
10 o'clock is my curfew, bro.
Okay.
You know, I
okay.
got this special ankle monitor, you know what I mean? My ankle jewelry, you know?
Oh shit.
It's
That's good, man. I
it
wish
ain't
you.
no joke.
I wish you the best, and just it ain't easy, but stay on the right path and
Yeah.
keep pushing that message. I know you want to help change like some of the prison stuff too that you was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my whole goal, because I think that's the beginning of it. Because dudes that are already in there, so in order for us to break this cycle, it's to stop them dudes from coming out feeling that they have nothing else or no choice, that they have to go back to what they do.
Yeah.
So I think that's the beginning. You know what I mean? The guys that are already out here, before they catch a case, we can also teach them too. But I believe to break the statistic of recidivism, it's to help those guys, especially those guys that are about to get out, that can't speak, they have no kind of education. It's at least stop that, at least help those guys.
Yeah.
Right? Versus giving these incentives to people that are gonna take 30, 40 years to get out. You got guys that's getting out in a year, 2 years, that need these help. They need that push, they need that resource. Where are they gonna go besides giving them a package? Oh, here's your pre-release packet. Do that, and shit's outdated. Shit don't even exist no more.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't expect them to come home, or especially people like me after doing 20 years, to come home and not fuck up when you ain't tell me what the fuck I gotta do or where I gotta go, how I'm gonna do this. Bro, even just a simple class of teaching a motherfucker how to use a cell phone will be very beneficial for motherfuckers in prison.
We'll do a class on the next episode. of the
I'm just
cell phone.
saying, dog,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because motherfuckers like me that's done a lot of time, we can use that,
Yeah.
you know, because it's very difficult.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very, very difficult, because answering the phone is not cool, bro. Especially when you have to answer and then hang up on the motherfucker, and they on the other line feeling hella disrespect. Like, why the fuck did you just answer and hang up on me? I'm like, bruh, this is all I know how to do. Just answer the phone and hang up. I'm busy right now, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
On the next sessions, we'll play around with the phone and get your reaction and see what you think about it. If this
Man.
is crazy, if that's
Yeah,
crazy.
shit, I'm all for it, bro. I'm
Hell
all
yeah.
for it.
Let's
It's
do
good.
more, brother. We wish you the best, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You know?
Keep doing your shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
We out.
Yeah.